Today we're gonna react to bathtub techno. Maybe we found like a new setting for the new DJ sets like Boiler Room or Her. But for today it's SPFDJ coming from her bathtub and having a statement considering the realness fakeness debate, the TikTok maximalism and the TikTok purism. And no further ado, we just dive straight into it.
After the pandemic, you were either a TikTok clown or a credibility zombie. I don't usually do this selfie monologue kind of thing, especially not in a bathtub, but fuck it. When inspiration strikes. So I came up in the scene pushing the extremes, high energy sets, no rules, multi-genre infusions. And that was my rebellion. I wanted to do things differently. But then when high BPMs and cheeky edits became the norm, I didn't know where to go. What used to feel dangerous started to feel expected.
Do you know the danger of mixing genres?
And then half the scene turned their noses up at anything that wasn't real techno. So I found myself stuck. Am I okay? My nipples aren't showing, right? Yeah, I found myself stuck, straddling a fence between the techno purists and the TikTok maximalism. And I felt like I had to pick a side. But neither of the sides felt like me. So eventually, I stopped pretending to fit into either of them. Because why are there even sides? And I stopped trying to out-extreme the extremes, because where does that even lead? And now, I just play what makes me dance. And it's a multi-genre cocktail of fun, definitely not chin-strokey bullshit. You can call it whatever the fuck you want. You don't need to like it. It doesn't have to make sense to everyone, because it finally makes sense to me. Am I still good, right? After the
So I think the whole point of this video is like the basic struggle what DJs nowadays have, or especially DJs like with real origins, let's put it like this, like not industry plans, not whatsoever. Like SPF DJ, Daria Kolosova, Maron, they're all commented here and we will get to their comment. And Boys Noise, I'm Patrick Mason. Is struggling that they're descending from something that is like super underground, super real, this whole wherever they come from, maybe Berghain or other real places, let's say techno from before 2017, pre-COVID, as she said. It's like after COVID, it got like into the TikTok maximalist, as she say, and the techno purism. So back in that time, it was not usual to be public at all. And what played in the clubs was played, and there was like a meta that was performed there, and it was stable. And they originate from them, so they know what's good, what's real. They know the culture. After the like the TikTokification or after COVID, there was like a spike or like a movement from the techno scene, from the underground, from the shades, and went public to TikTok, obviously, right? And the Techno Team channel being part of it, and displayed everything and popularized the genre. And being her back in the days where she like broke norms of the real underground techno, like the Bang Clock, Marcel Detman kind of things, were like minimalist, super dark, or Volvox kind of techno, super ambient, super atmospheric. And she did like the mashups, the multi-genre thing, and maybe At that time it was cool, but then it got popularized, and now you see rappers, mainstream rappers, rapping on techno beats, on trance beats, producing music, and kind of in this sense, the culture gets lost or whatsoever. And suddenly she is like one of them, one of the rappers that rapping on techno beats or like this mainstream productions, which she never been really. But now she kind of is, and what she's like telling, she's like between the two ferns, between the two extremes, where she has to pick a side. Obviously, she doesn't have to pick a side, and she's real, but that's like kind of the realness struggle that is kind of predominant in the scene. And if you read the comments of like Patrick Mason, love this for you, all the bullshit fades away once you tune into yourself. It's like that. If you think too much about the critics, the techno purists, and whatsoever, it will kind of destroy you and you get like into this realness debate, what's real, what's fake, whatsoever. I don't know what she's playing at the moment because yeah, I haven't seen her live for a while. I think the last time was like maybe 2000 2020, but she's kind of big. She's like an A-lister of techno DJs. So she is kind of on the TikTok maximalist side, especially if you watch like her Instagram. This is TikTok maximalism in a sense, not musically and what's real, what's fake, but it's just like this whole showing what's on a party and oversharing this whole thing.
After the pandemic.
Yeah, and you see also like commentaries of Boys Noise, who also like had various club nights in Berghain, if I'm not mistaken. Maron, who is like a super good DJ from the Netherlands. Darky, also Ukrainian DJ that went from Kiev underground to Berghain, resident, whatever. So like pretty real people here. Rebecca also. So a lot of positive feedback from real DJs with real underground record. And there's like this problem that you have to have enemies, and there's like no coexistence nowadays. Anyway, the only thing that is like kind of has a lot of judgment as we have in Berlin here is like the naming or framing of the two categories we have here. What what did she say?
After the pandemic, you were either a TikTok clown or a credibility.
It's like TikTok clown or credibility zombie. This is like the framing, because if you're hanging on TikTok and like and you discover techno through TikTok, are you a TikTok clown? Why are you a clown? Yeah, maybe because you're dancing with the fashion and whatever, you're a clown, but I don't know. This is like so, kind of arrogant or whatever. Or credibility zombie. Yes, but I think this whole credibility zombie is a Berlin specific problem that we have here. There's a lot of people that are living just 2 years here, whatever, living out their Neverland life here, never getting old or grow up, and zombifying themselves and criticize people like her, even though they don't even have like the authority to speak out to people like her. And they're striving for credibility, for like a standing in this whole city thing. So that's why it's a pretty Berlin specific you know wording for that. But I kind of understand what it is. I don't think that like people outside of Berlin see somebody as credibility zombie or whatnot, because usually outside of Berlin all these DJs, SPFDJ, Patrick Mason, or even Boys Noise or Darky are well received. If you come to Berlin, you get hated because you sold out. You're playing now at whatever Extrema or Awakenings or whatever. You're not real anymore. That's like a Berlin specific problem.
Zombie. I don't usually do this selfie monologue kind of thing, especially not in a bathtub, but fuck it. When inspiration strikes. So I came up in the scene pushing the extremes, high energy sets, no rules, multi-genre infusions, and that was my rebellion. I wanted to do things differently.
The only thing that I'm like a bit like questioning here, she said like she been rebelling against like the scene that she found or that she've been part of, and saying like high energy sets and whatever, like pretending like the sets before weren't high energy. You know, the energy was different back in the days and it was still high, but maybe what she means is like this high pacey stuff where it's like not the high energy is not that subtle, but like in your face, just like the bathtub video in general.
But then when high BPMs and cheeky edits became the norm, I didn't know where to go. What used to feel dangerous started to feel expected. And then
I can understand what she means by dangerous, because like if you like talking about the realness of the sound of techno, what she was playing or like this whole cheeky edits as she mentioned are like it was haram. Like basically going 2017 or even before into a club and hearing vocals, there have been legitimately people who would have left the dance floor if they would hear vocals, if it's a techno floor. The only vocal that you can have is like basically like one word or whatever. But having a mainstream song remixed in a techno club in Berlin back in the days like 2017 or whatever would be a deal breaker. I swear to God. With that, in that sense, she did like some dangerous revolution in that sense, but it also got overused, as she said. Back in the days, it was like, yeah, oh my God, something new. It's cool. It's nice. And now every trashy song is remixed and played in a party, and that's crazy.
half the scene turned their noses up at anything that wasn't real techno.
Because that's the old ways. You know, if you come to a techno club, you want to hear techno, and technically this is not techno, whatever. If you want to have this realness debate, and I think this is like the people that are like not in the culture the longest who are criticizing the most. That's the only thing, because they're striving for credibility. A credible person that is like in the scene for a long time wouldn't criticize that so hard, you know? Because usually you like softer music, harder music, and that's it, you know? And if something is good, it's good.
So I found myself stuck. Am I okay? My nipples aren't showing, right? Um, yeah, I found myself stuck, straddling a fence between the techno purists and the TikTok maximalism. And I felt like I had to pick a side. But neither of the sides felt like me.
Yeah, the only thing that I not really agree with her that she didn't pick a side. She's obviously in the TikTok maximalism thing, but she has to do it. That's like the thing, you know. There, it's not black and white in the sense that something is good and the other thing is bad. A techno purist is not Jesus, and a TikTok maximalist is not Satan. You know, there is a thing that you have to do. She chose DJ as her profession, and she's working, and this is her job, being on social media, being a TikTok maximalist. And she also, meanwhile, be a TikTok maximalist, can be a techno purist, and probably she is. So what's the problem actually?
So eventually, I stopped pretending to fit into either of them. Because why are there even sides? And I stopped trying to out extreme the extremes, because where does that even lead? And now I just play what makes me dance. And it's a multi-genre cocktail of fun, definitely not chin strokey bullshit.
And that's the thing that everybody has to come back to realize at the end it's about dance music, and it's not that deep. It's not that deep. If it gets you to dance, it's good. If it's not, it's not. And if people leaving the dance floor cause they're like offended by your choice, so will it be. If it's the majority, think about it. If it's not the majority, you did everything right. Easy as it is. It's a pretty democratic it's a pretty democratic process here.
You can call it whatever the fuck you want. You don't need to like it. It doesn't have to make sense to everyone, because it finally makes sense to me. Am I still good, right?
Anyway, so this was the reaction to the infamous bathtub video of SPFDJ. I think she strikes like a good conversation about like the realness was fake, mainstream with underground, the TikTok side, the realness side. It's pretty good. It's also nice to see that somebody who's like really from the scene, like undoubtedly, let's say like that, is like concerned with that. Because maybe she's framed as TikTok maximalist, maybe as purist, you can see it from both sides. And she's connecting both of their sides and doing it pretty good. The statement is pretty good in terms of pointing like a mirror to what's happening right now. And there's no wonder she gets like so much support from famous DJs here. So she's basically right, and that's a really good video for the whole discussion about realness, the mainstreamification of techno, and like the social media that has such a hard stronghold on everything what we do, right? So with that being said, this was the reaction for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Write your own opinions in the comments, leave a like, and see you in the next video.